Tonight on Texas News Channel, hundreds gather for a climate protest.
A man charged for making terroristic threats.
The SAC gets a new name.
You're watching Texas News Channel,
your leader for live, local UT coverage. Good evening and welcome back to Texas News Channel. For Monday, September 23rd, I'm Nicki Miller.
And I'm Cynthia Miranda. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Earlier today, Utpd reported an aggravated assault on 23rd in San Antonio. The suspect is described as a white male with blonde hair, around 20 years old and armed with a machete-like knife. While Utpd believes the suspect is no longer in the area, contact 911 immediately if you see anyone matching this description.
A man was charged today for making a terroristic threat against UT. According to an arrest affidavit, 25-year-old Dakota Blakely was arrested Sunday by UT police at Dell Medical Center after he became violent with hospital staff. During his arrest, he told officials he intended to go on campus and, quote, shoot everyone he saw, end quote. Police also found several photos of Blakely pointing guns to the camera as well as white supremacist imagery on his Facebook page. Blakely was charged with assault on emergency service personnel and making a terroristic threat.
Last Friday, millions of people across the country and around the world went on strike from school and work, demanding lawmakers to take action on the ongoing crisis.
The widespread protests made its way to the 40 acres as well. UT students marched to the Capitol from campus on Friday for the global climate protest. The student organization Students Fighting Climate Change organized a group to attend the strike in Austin. UT students came together to talk about how to fight what they call the climate crisis. George Wunsch is the co-president of Students Fighting Climate Change, and he says he attended the protest to ensure young people have a future.
And what we really want to do is show people in power and show the institutions that caused this crisis that we're not going to sit on the sidelines and let our future slip away from us. We're going to fight for our future because it's all we really have.
UT graduate student Anna Joaquin says there's pressure for people to take individual action, such as not using plastic straws, but she says there are bigger ways to help stop climate change.
Electing politicians that are going to implement these policies and actually put it into action, and not taking a middle ground, like there's no compromising or else nothing's going to get done.
Wunsch says the U.S. could be a leader in the fight against the climate crisis if the government took action.
The U.S. has the potential to do a lot of really amazing things, to be a leader in green energy technology, to be a leader in forces and policies that combat the climate crisis, and we can do that, we just aren't.
Students say new laws need to be created to end climate change, and with next year's presidential election getting near, candidates should consider that climate change matters to some voters. Cynthia Miranda, Texas News Channel.
This past Saturday, UT Athletics enforced new changes to big-ticket entry at football games. After concerns of crowd chaos before the LSU game 2 weeks ago, students can only enter through gate 31 in barricaded lines. After student IDs are scanned, they are given a colored wristband with an assigned section number, allowing them to leave and return to their section. Some students like this new process, while others are not a fan of it.
I'd say it's generally not working, although it's only been a small sample size, obviously, so I'm not going to rush to dismiss it or say it's great or not. But so far, again, it's been pretty stressful getting into student sections for games.
On Friday, UT held a ceremony to officially rename the former SAC building to the William C. Powers Student Activity Center. This was done in honor of former UT President Bill Powers, who died back in March. Powers was UT's second longest serving president in the school's history, serving from 2006 to 2015. We asked a UT student on how they felt about the university honoring Bill Powers.
I'm not exactly sure what the effects of changing the name of the building would be on other students. I mean, it might be an inconvenience if they have old maps with an old name, but I don't personally think it has a big effect.
A decision from Austin City Council concerning a ban on homeless camping has been postponed until October 17th. The ban could impact areas in West Campus, making it illegal for the homeless to camp there. The council was set to vote on the issue Friday, but were unable to reach a decision. A previous ban on homeless camping was repealed back in June due to rising concerns of lawsuits against the city.
Texas is slowly cracking down on abortion laws, but Austin will soon become the first city in the U.S. who will help women seeking abortions by funding groups that take care of logistical costs like babysitters, transportation, and hotel rooms. This action is an effort to drive back Texas's new law that bans local governments from funding groups that provide abortions.
This month, House Bill 2502 went into effect in the state of Texas, which will now require a minimum 120 prison sentence for drivers who receive probation for failing to stop and render aid that later causes someone's death. This bill was pushed by parents of former UT track runner Joseph Wood, who was killed in a hit-and-run incident back in 2014. 3 years later, in 2017, the drivers involved in Wood's death was found guilty for failing to stop and render aid, but received no jail time. This new law now has equal punishment to a DWI manslaughter charge.
Austin City Council has postponed its third vote for the redevelopment of student apartment complexes in Riverside. The vote is rescheduled for October 17th. If passed, the demolition of Ballpark North, Town Lake, and the Quad West, South, and East will continue to make way for hotel rooms, offices, retail spaces, and new residential units.
Travis County and several others in Central Texas are implementing new voting machines just in time for the November elections. The $8.1 million system will allow people to vote electronically and still keep a backup paper copy of their ballot. Travis County decided on the new system last year to replace their previous one, which had been used for 17 years.
Coming up on Texas News Channel, a former UT quarterback dies.
And Dell Medical receives a new grant.
A $250,000 grant is being given to the Dell Medical School from the Darrell K. Royal Research Fund. The fund will support the continued care and research for patients with Alzheimer's disease and further look into the risk factors for people with cognitive dysfunction. The Dean of Dell Medical School said a partnership has started between Dell and DKR because of the school's supportive advances in patient care within the Austin community.
Former UT quarterback Javon Sneed has died at 32 years old. After his freshman season in 2007, he transferred to Ole Miss University. As a sophomore, Sneed scored 26 touchdowns for his team. Sneed skipped his senior season to try his luck with the NFL. He signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but was eventually cut. While the cause of his death has not been confirmed, officials do not believe foul play was involved. The UT football team tweeted out their condolences for Sneed's friends and family.
Script-to-screen lecturer Matthew McConaughey has been promoted to professor in practice, and along with the promotion comes payment. In his offer letter from UT, the Dallas Buyers Club actor is projected to make $12,000 for any class he teaches independently and $6,000 for ones taught with a co-teacher. The letter also said the university will explore other classes McConaughey may teach or support in the near future.
Private equity billionaire Robert Smith pledged to pay off the student debt of almost 400 graduates of Morehouse College, a bill which rang up $34 million in the form of a donation to the Morehouse College Student Success Program. The announcement came as a surprise during the commencement address at the Men's Liberal Arts College in Atlanta last spring.
And my family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans. and
General Manager of Amazon's Austin Tech Hub, Jerry Leeper, announced the company will be adding 600 new tech jobs with plans to add a team of over 1,400 Amazon workers. The company will also be expanding its previous lease of 145,000 square feet in the domain in North Austin by 100,000 square feet. Amazon's presence in Austin is one of its largest tech locations in North America and only will be continuing to expand.
The Texas Memorial Museum hosted their 20th annual Identification Day on Sunday. Austinites could bring in artifacts such as fossils, bones, and rocks to be identified by a panel of university scientists and experts. The event was held in honor of Austin Museum Day, where over 30 museums in the Austin area opened their doors for free access to exhibits and activities. It's really crazy, the weather.
Yeah, the weather's been really hot recently.
I know, I've literally
right?
been walking to class and been drenched in sweat like every single day, but
It's
all
so
right.
fun. Yeah, well, let's take it to Faith in the Weather City. Faith?
Thanks, Cynthia. We've had a hot girl fall, but is it here to stay? Stay tuned to find out. Well, Longhorns, fall is here, and I hope you enjoyed that warm weekend. I, for one, am happy the weather stayed nice and toasty for the Longhorn win on Saturday. This week looks to continue that warm trend with little to no chance of rain expected all week. Tonight, you can expect it to cool down to a low of 75 and for that late night hike to the PCL. Then tomorrow, we'll see a high of 97 and a low of 72. Wednesday, there will be a high of 98 and a low of 73. For the rest of the week, we can expect the highs in the upper 90s and the lows in the lower 70s, with a chance of rain on Friday. So just stay strong a little longer, and hopefully Texas will ease up on the high temperatures just in time for fall to kick off. Live from the Weather Center, I'm Faith Osterberg. We'll be right back with sports.
Sports correspondent Ted Kim, thank you for joining us.
No problem, Nicki. I'm just a huge fan of what you're doing. Anyways, it's great to be on, and this weekend was a big one for the 12-ranked Longhorns as they welcomed in Mike Gundy and the Oklahoma State Cowboys to open conference play. Let's check out the highlights from this primetime matchup. Elger steps back, hits Devin Duvernay on a 26-yard touchdown to go 7-3 early in the second quarter.
This was a huge game for both teams and a close one throughout. What critical moment gave Texas the edge in this one?
The defining moment of this game was the big Sam Ehlinger run late on the third down to put the game away. We've seen time and time again throughout Ehlinger's career this ability to tuck the ball and run. He had 70 rushing yards this week, and the threat he poses to go for 30 on any given play means the defense is forced to throw another man in the box to counter him.
Yes, it was a big win for Texas, but how important was it for the team to start conference play with a win?
Tom Herman says it's basically every week, 1-0. That also happens to the Texas non-conference record after Saturday's win. The Cowboys came in projected to be a potential dark horse to win the Big 12, and with Chuba Hubbard in the backfield and Tylan Wallace at wideout, have some of the best talent in the in the conference. This was a must-win game for Texas to remain in the college football playoff conversation, and it should give the team some much-needed momentum heading into an off week before starting a monstrous slate in October.
Thank you, Ted, for catching up with us for the 40 Acres. We'll be right back with your entertainment news.
Welcome back to Texas News Channel. I'm Megan Fee. The 2019 Emmy Awards aired last night, going the same route as the 2019 Oscars with no host. Game of Thrones took home Best Drama, Fleabag won Best Comedy, and Billy Porter and Jodie Comer were awarded Best Lead Actors in Drama. Jonathan Van Ness, grooming expert on the Netflix series Queer Eye, is releasing his memoir, Over the Top, Raw Journey to Self-Love, tomorrow. He opened up to the New York Times this week, talking about his difficult childhood and struggles with a drug problem in college, as well as testing positive for HIV 7 years ago. He says he's now a proud member of the, quote, beautiful HIV community. Actress Jamie Lynn Sigler will be voicing the first ever Latina Jewish princess in the new Hanukkah-themed episode of Elena of Avalor. After the announcement, Sigler tweeted, "I am so excited to voice Disney's first Jewish princess." The show is set to premiere its 3rd season October 7th. Miley Cyrus and Caitlyn Carter are splitting after a month of dating. The relationship started soon after Miley's highly publicized divorce with Liam Hemsworth. The Cyrus-Hemsworth pairing dated for 10 years and were married for 6 months until Liam filed for divorce last month. Caitlyn also had her own split with Brody Jenner just before dating Miley. Sources close to the couple say Miley was looking for something casual and that things with Caitlyn were moving too fast. According to this source, the former couple is hoping to remain friends. That's it for me. I'm Megan Fee. Back to you.
Thanks for joining us, and thank you for tuning in.
You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Texas News TSTV.
If you have a news tip, you can reach us on all socials or email news@texasstudenttv.com.
You can catch Good Morning Texas Wednesdays at 7 a.m. and Towers Talks Wednesday at 6 p.m. I'm Nicki Miller.
And I'm Cynthia Miranda. From all of us at TNC, good night.